What's up, guys? I'm Roy Edwards here with Online Academy by Capital Presence on our YouTube channel. Thanks for checking us out. Today, we're going to go over Microsoft Viva, which Viva was announced in February of this year by Microsoft. And there's essentially four tool sets inside of Microsoft Viva that we're going to go over. Some of them you've probably seen them before, and now they've just been rebranded, and you're probably getting emails from Viva and you're like, what is this? It's not a new tool in some instances. In some instances, it's a very new tool and it's very cool. We're going to go over all of that today. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and check us out at capitalpresence.com. You can book a call. You can, if there's anything you see you want to talk more on, go ahead and go there. Click the link and let's chat. We're not going to sell you anything. I don't have a single salesperson on my staff. It's all consultation and it's free. So we just, if you want to have a conversation, we can high five and talk about pizza if you want to. But capitalpresence.com. Go ahead and check that out. And guys, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions of content, things that you're stuck on, anything you want to talk about, hit us in the comments below. With that, though, we're going to talk about Microsoft Viva. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So Microsoft Viva. So what is Microsoft Viva? So Microsoft Viva is essentially a collection of a few different tool sets within. So the first one we have is Viva Insights, or Microsoft Viva Insights. And so Viva Insights is kind of just a package deal of things that you've already seen, like My Analytics, Focus Time, a couple other things that tell you like who you're collaborating with, how much time you spent in meetings, who you're messaging with, wellness checks, that sort of thing. And so they're focusing in on digital wellness. So now that we have converted to a hybrid workplace environment, or you have remote employees, which if you've done business over the last year and a half, then you definitely have remote employees in one way or another. And so the Viva Insights helps you keep track on how many hours that they're working, how many hours they're in meetings, what they're working on. But for the individual employee, it helps for wellness checks to say, hey, you need to schedule some downtime for yourself in the middle of the day. Put a meeting in there for you to say, give you a little bit of time to get up and stretch. When we were in the office, even walking to a meeting sometimes was a little bit of a break. We got to get up from our desk. Maybe we left a little bit early so we could do an extra loop. We walked the stairs. We went for walks around the building. We went to walk to get coffee. All of these things were built-in breaks that were good for our wellness. Well, now that we're at home, there's kind of like there's the good and the bad, right? The good is, I'm still in sweatpants here, right? I didn't have to put on a suit today, so that's good. There's also, an exercise bike about 5 feet to the right of me that I could hop on and take a call if I wanted to. So those are all good things, right? The bad thing is that I have to schedule time to do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit in the same chair all day because I don't have to get up and physically go to any meetings. A lot of our meetings now are back to back to back to back with no breaks in between. So we're just jumping on a new call. That wasn't necessarily the case when we were in the office. We had to physically get up, sometimes move office spaces. So there's a lot of things that have changed, and we need to be aware of those things. And Viva Insights helps us with that. The next part is Viva Topics. So Viva Topics is kind of like a wiki. So instead of me trying to explain exactly what Viva Topics is, I do have a video where I'm going to do a reaction to and kind of walk you through it. But Viva Topics, in a sense, is a way that you can create topics within your organization, assign people to them who might be subject matter experts, so that you can click on that individual topic. It'll bring up people who are named as subject matter experts or people to have a conversation with about. And it's a way to organize some of the things that your organization is working on. The next one would be Viva Connections. So Viva Connections is essentially Yammer, SharePoint discussions, and Microsoft Teams kind of all rolled into one. It's a way for news, chat boards, communities, and everything to kind of be rolled into one area so that you can connect with your employees, see what's going around your organization, and really stay together. It's not necessarily a new release. There might be some added benefits going forward, and there might be some changes to it. Yammer seems to be included in this. So Viva Connections is just it's a way to bring all of the other connection ports that you have around your organization into one specific place. And the last one of it would be Viva Learning. And so Viva Learning is a Microsoft LMS essentially. And so it's going to connect LinkedIn Learning, which Microsoft owns, Microsoft Learn, which is the learning tools for learning paths that Microsoft presents. And then I've been told that it's going to incorporate Stream as well. So those internal trainings that your organization has, you'll be able to pull that all into one place and create an organized LMS for your employees in your organization. So this should be very beneficial to the larger organizations, because I know that I've worked on a ton of projects of where people are building their own LMS. They want to build their own training portals. They want to build their own areas. And so while Viva Learn might not, take over all of those LMS things that you've already built, it does offer a tool that's ready out of the box for some of the larger organizations, or just organizations in a whole that have training and onboarding, a more extensive onboarding process than some other organizations. So those are the 4 tools. Now I am going to play a video that Microsoft has released, and we'll go over this video together. And I'll stop it here and there, and I just want to break down, because Microsoft has released this video on Microsoft Viva, this experience and engagement video, but they didn't really explain too much of it. It's just in true Microsoft fashion, they're just kind of going through the different tools and not really offering too much advice. So let's go ahead and watch.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jared Spataro. As Satya said, we are living at an incredible time. In my role, I talk to customers every day about how the pandemic has reshaped the way we work. And one thing that seems to be on everyone's mind is this: how can we make sure our people feel connected, supported, and able to bring their very best selves to work? Especially since work now looks so different for all of us, whether we're working from home, back at the office, or even on the shop floor.
So I'm going to stop it right there, because that's something that I've seen a lot of HR professionals are going out there and they're saying, you can't build a work culture in an online environment, which is like fighting words to me. So this is a lot of what Viva is. A lot of Viva is focused in on how to build a workplace culture, or tools to build a workplace culture within a work wherever environment.
Think about it. Even if after the pandemic, on any given day, just 10% of your workforce is remote, you still need to connect those employees and ensure they have what they need to thrive. Our research shows there's just no going back. Employees want to continue to work remotely, at least part-time, and managers are creating more flexible remote work policies as a result. We need to stop thinking about work as a place and start thinking about how to maintain culture, connect employees, and harness human ingenuity in a hybrid world. As digital...
Yes, so I hate to keep pausing this, but that is 1000% on. We need to stop thinking of work as somewhere that you go and something that you do, right? So you can work wherever. You can work on vacation as long as you're getting the work done. Why does work have to be this place? Why can't it be a thing that you're doing? Oh my gosh, that's music to my ears right there. So I want to change this thought process that we have, where it's like, I'm going to work. How many times do you go to work? I go to work every day. What do you mean go to work? Why do I have to go to a physical office space and sit in a cubicle? That doesn't make any sense.
Tools become more crucial to a great employee experience. Business leaders across every industry are embracing the opportunity to learn, and they're reevaluating both their spend and their approach. Today, organizations spend over $300 billion a year on employee experience. $300 billion. That's a really big number. It includes employee development and training, benefits and well-being, and a whole host of other employee experience technologies that in most cases are fragmented, hard to find, and disruptive to the flow of work.
Yeah.
So with Microsoft Viva, today we mark the first major step for a new kind of employee experience that's designed for the digital era. Viva digitally reimagines company culture, employee well-being, knowledge sharing, and learning for the hybrid work world.
Don't let anyone
Viva's
tell
powered
you.
by the full breadth and depth of Microsoft 365 and is experienced primarily through Microsoft Teams. And with a strong and growing ecosystem of Viva partners, and the fact that Teams is an open and extensible platform, It's easy to integrate all of the systems and tools a company already has into one place. Viva will initially include 4 modules: Connections, Insights, Topics, and Learning, with more on the way.
Yes. So notice he just said more on the way. These are just the first 4 topics. And it was easy for them to get these first 4 topics because a lot of these things, which we just went over in the intro, already existed, right? These are already things that were already a part of Microsoft that maybe you just either weren't using regularly or didn't know existed. And so Microsoft was like, you know what? Let's put these on blast for everybody and make them easier to use because this hybrid thing is no longer a fad.
Let's start with Viva Connections. Our research shows that nearly 60% of workers feel less connected to their team since the move to remote work. And we're struggling to replace the camaraderie once created by things like company town halls, offsites, and events. Just think about how it feels for a new employee who has literally never been to the office or even met anyone face to face. Accessed in Teams, the Connections app provides a single entry point for employee engagement and internal communications.
Notice what he just called that. He just called that the Connections platform. That is Microsoft SharePoint communication site. That on the screen right there is a Microsoft SharePoint communication site. Just thought I'd point that out.
You can kind of think of it as the digital representation of the office or the shop floor where we once gathered as a company. Connections builds on Microsoft 365 capabilities like SharePoint and Yammer to provide a curated employee destination. Leaders can connect with employees via company town halls, and employees can access everything from company news, policies, and benefits to employee resource groups or clubs that they want to join. The content can also be customized for specific roles within the company, including frontline and information workers, and it's easily customizable to add resources or showcase a company's brand.
So this is all stuff, if you've been paying attention to the things that we've been doing here at Capital Presence, we've been doing this for years, right? So there's a pretty good Yammer video that I did a year or so ago. You guys can check that out where I go over the separation of Microsoft Teams and Yammer communities and how to break it out and how to use it for like baby showers and stuff. So this is all not, what he's saying here is mostly just saying, hey, we have the tools for you.
Next,
don't go back to the office.
Insights. At a time when over 30% of workers say the pandemic has increased their sense of burnout, it's never been more important to help people unplug and make the most of their scarcest resource, their time. Accessed in Teams, Insights for individuals help employees stay connected with their colleagues and protect time for regular breaks, focused work, and learning. Experiences we announced this summer, like virtual commute and integration with Headspace, were the start of our work here. They will now be part of Microsoft Viva and will start rolling out in the coming months.
So that is that's all the stuff that's probably been hitting your inboxes. Whenever you get an email from Viva and it talks about how much focus time you had and all that other stuff, that's what he's talking about. So you're already seeing this. You were already seeing it before with Microsoft Insights or My Analytics, rather. Now it's Insights. But the biggest thing is notice how he's doing it in Microsoft Teams. So there's an app now in your Microsoft Teams environment where you can add it and pin it to your taskbar so that now you can have better access to those insights, whereas before you had to go search for My Analytics, which was actually pretty hard to find. So they made it easier.
For managers, Insights highlights valuable information about how the team is doing. For instance, it can help a manager to see if their team is at risk of burnout or remind managers to have consistent one-on-ones with employees. For company leaders, Insights sheds light on company and team-wide trends that help address complex challenges and respond to change. These could include well-being challenges, but also things like space planning as companies reimagine offices for hybrid work. These organizational insights are even more powerful when combined with other data sources. So today, we're very excited to announce a new dashboard for Microsoft Viva and Glint customers that maps insights about how people work to data about how people feel, taken from employee surveys. Viva Insights can also tap into data from third-party tools like Zoom, Workday, and SAP SuccessFactors.
So the point of that is to understand how many meetings people are actually in. Because what we saw at the beginning of the pandemic was everyone wanted to meet all the time. I saw one organization who just had an 8-hour meeting. They just wanted to have their employees see each other, which is Ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And so that's a direct shot on leadership right there. Is what he just said is what it translates to is you're trying to schedule too many meetings for your employees. Just because you're remote doesn't mean you need to have so many meetings. That's the biggest burnout that we see around employees is what is their workload? How many hours a day are they working? How much time do they spend in meetings? That's what Insights
To ensure privacy and security, personal insights are visible only to the employee,
right,
while insights from managers and leaders appear in a de-identified aggregated view to maintain personal privacy.
Right.
Now, on to Viva Learning. Organizations need to develop a culture of learning to keep up with the pace of change and to retain great talent. Specifically, a recent report from LinkedIn found that 94% of employees would stay at a company longer if it invested in their learning and development. Viva Learning helps make learning a natural part of every employee's daily work and the company culture. With Viva, employees can easily discover and share everything from training courses to micro-learning content.
Notice the layout here. So a lot of this already existed within Microsoft Stream. That looks pretty eerily similar to Microsoft Stream there, doesn't it? It's just now it's embedded into Microsoft Team and bringing in multiple training environments into one place. So some of your organizations, you might be looking at that and be like, we already have something like that. You probably do. Microsoft just rebuilt it. That's all.
And managers get the tools they need to assign learning and then to track the outcomes to help foster a learning culture. Viva Learning creates a central hub for learning in teams with AI that recommends the right content at the right time. It brings together content from LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft Learn, and your organization's own custom content. It also has trainings from leading content providers like Skillsoft, Coursera, Pluralsight, and edX.
Now, if you don't subscribe to those, you're not going to get them, right? So part of this also is to sell LinkedIn Learning, I'm sure. So just be wary of that.
Viva Learning also works with leading learning management systems. Today, we're announcing partnerships with Cornerstone On Demand, Saba, and SAP SuccessFactors, with more on the way. And finally, Viva Topics. You know, finding an expert, understanding company acronyms, or finding the content you need can be tedious, especially when you're new or working remotely. In fact, our research shows people spend the equivalent of 7 weeks per year searching for or just recreating information. Think of Viva Topics as a Wikipedia for the organization. It uses AI to automatically organize company-wide content and expertise into relevant categories like projects, products, processes, and customers. Topics makes Microsoft Search more powerful.
So this is like the biggest part of Viva, as far as I'm concerned. All the other stuff we already had, and if you had somebody helping you out, you were already doing a lot of these things. And if you had a consultant stand up your environment probably already looks a lot. Everything is how he said so far. This part, in terms of topics, you would have had to understand what your organization looks like, who to talk to. How many times do we get new employees and they're like, who do I talk to about this? Who do I talk to about this? That's where Viva Topics comes into play. We built out a Power VA where people can choose what it is that they want to talk to the bot, and it sends them to the appropriate person. Similar to Viva Topics as to what this is. Viva Topics, though, carries a $4 a month charge per employee, where Power VA can get anywhere to like $1,000 a month.
And automatically surfaces topic cards as people work in apps like Office, SharePoint, and Teams. When an employee clicks on a card, a topics page appears with documents, videos, and related people.
That's pretty cool.
Experts at the company can also help curate the information shown in topics by sharing knowledge through simple, highly customizable websites. Along with content from Microsoft apps and services, Topics also services information from third-party services like ServiceNow. And graph connectors make it easy to connect out to even more content that employees would find helpful. Today's announcements are just the first step. In the months to come, we'll invite customers to join us on this journey to create the first employee experience platform for the digital age. In a minute, I'll ask some customers and experts to join me, but first, let's take a moment to see Viva in action.
We're not going to watch that.
Microsoft Viva empowers people and teams to be their best by bringing communications, insights, learning, and knowledge into an integrated employee experience.
Looks like a SharePoint
right
page.
Inside Microsoft Teams.
It's a communication site.
Viva Connections is your gateway to this experience, allowing you to stay engaged and informed no matter where you work. Here's an example for a company called ReliCloud. Connections is customized for your organization and personalized.
So the coolest thing that I saw about this was, I'm like, that's a communication site, right? But look where it sits in Microsoft Teams. Notice it's the first thing at the very top above activity. And then notice here on the mobile device within Microsoft Teams that it's the first thing. So they are taking these communication sites that a lot of organizations, including ours, have been building out and putting them into Teams using tabs. And they were like, it's a great idea. Why don't we just do that for everybody and call it a product? So that's what you're seeing.
For you, with the feed of relevant news, announcements, and conversations so you're always in the know, and a dashboard connecting you to company resources and tools from Viva and across your digital workplace.
Yeah.
You can tailor Viva Connections for every role, from frontline workers to executives, to keep everyone connected and engaged. Viva Insights helps you work smarter and thrive with personalized reminders to prioritize time for focused work, coaching, and learning. Take regular breaks and mindfully wrap up your workday with a virtual commute.
Notice
For managers
again,
and
it's on the
leaders,
task
Viva
bar.
provides insights and recommendations to foster healthy, successful teams and build personal and organizational resilience. For example, Viva can help a manager see if a team is at risk of burnout, then take action to help them develop healthy work habits and feel balanced. Viva Insights helps you understand the impact of work patterns on people and the business, then drive and measure change while protecting personal privacy.
Notice the after hours. That's a big one. Is that how much after hours are people working? That's a big way to see if you guys are, as leaders, assigning too much work or if there's not enough clarity, or this is a big tool.
See every step of the way. With Viva, you can foster success and well-being for you, your team, and your organization. Viva Learning brings all your learning resources together in one place. You'll find content that's been assigned to you and recommended from a variety of sources, including your own custom content, learning management systems, and top content providers, including LinkedIn Learning and Microsoft Learn. With Viva, learning becomes a natural part of your day and lets everyone learn in the flow of work. It's easy to find, share, and discuss learning, and organize resources to foster a learning culture. Managers can assign learning and track completion to accelerate.
So that's the biggest part right there, is online learning. It's been proven to show that online learning is not the best way to learn, but it did mention there at the end that you're able to assign work, right? So you have to give some sort of direction, some sort of a learning path to your employees. These tools alone are not going to just save your company. You're still going to need to establish governance, talk them through, understand, actually do, be a leader.
Accelerate onboarding. Viva Learning enables employees to develop their skills and grow in their careers and as a person. Lots of learning is done on the job, and Viva Topics magically connects you to knowledge and experts. When you come across an unfamiliar topic or acronym, just hover. No need to search for knowledge. Knowledge finds you. Want to know more? Just click to find people, resources, and conversations related to the topic. Have a question? Just ask. Viva has the answer or calls in topic experts.
Notice, that's Yammer.
Viva uses AI to build topic pages automatically and makes sure sensitive content remains protected. With Viva Topics, you can harness the knowledge of your organization and connect people to that knowledge in the apps they use every day. These features and more are coming to Microsoft Viva this year. Microsoft Viva brings communications, insights, learning, and knowledge together into an integrated employee experience, so everyone can be their best and the whole organization can thrive.
Okay, that's nice. So notice a lot of things there. We saw Yammer communities used as questions within Viva. We saw SharePoint communication sites rebranded as connections pages and dashboards. So a lot of these tools you already have, and a lot of, if you had a good architect like us, then you would have already been doing these things. So now Microsoft's just making it obvious for you to be like, look, this is why we built these tools. Just use them this way. And if we have to charge you $4 a month for us to tell you how to use them, then we'll do so. So I think the biggest selling point to me is topics. That's the biggest selling point. The other three I could do without. They really mean nothing to me. Those other things that were kind of already there. If you had a good architect, like I said, they already existed. Topics is definitely the coolest thing, and it makes it easier to have communication around topics. It would be big time for new employees that are, especially in like the government space, when you find an acronym and you're like, what does that mean? Well, now you can click on it and find experts around it. So very cool. This is Microsoft Viva. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to do more reaction stuff to this because I feel like there's just been constant information sent out since the pandemic from Microsoft and AWS of the world, where they're just like, look at this new tool, and it's seemingly constant, right? So we'll be doing these so I can break these down, make them a little easier to understand. If you guys have any questions, hit them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. We're here for you guys. We're trying to provide as much value as possible. If you want to book a call, go to capitalpresence.com. There should be book now stuff all over the place. If you guys have any topics you want discussed, hit them in the comments. I'm telling you, or just email us or whatever. Just get them to me somehow, some way. Find us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever else. But guys, thanks for hanging out. And until next time, see you.